I never told my son about my $40,000 monthly salary. To him, I was just his mother, the woman who left early for work, came home tired, cooked simple meals, and lived in a modest apartment. Ordinary, forgettable, and I let him believe that. Then one day, my son Marcus invited me to dinner with his wife's parents. They were visiting from abroad for the first time, and he sounded nervous. Not excited, not proud, nervous. That was when I realized something was wrong. And that was the night I decided to pretend to be poor. Not to impress anyone, but to see who they really were. Marcus was 35 years old and had no idea who his mother truly was. I never told him that I had spent nearly 20 years as a senior executive at a multinational corporation. I never told him I signed million-dollar contracts, managed massive budgets, or earned $40,000 a month. I lived quietly. Same apartment, same worn handbag, discount clothes, no luxury car. Because I didn't believe money needed an audience. When Marcus called me that afternoon, he hesitated before speaking. "Mom, Simone's parents want to meet you. We're having dinner Saturday. Please come." There was something in his voice, embarrassment. So I asked calmly, "Do they know anything about me?" Silence. Then he admitted, "I told them you work in an office, that you live simply, that you don't have much." That word stayed with me. Simple. As if my entire life could be summarized in one apologetic sentence. That's when I made my decision. If they expected a poor woman, I would give them exactly that. Saturday night arrived. I wore the worst outfit I owned, an old gray dress, worn shoes, no jewelry, no watch. I pulled my hair back and grabbed a faded canvas tote. I looked like a woman life had forgotten. Perfect. The taxi dropped me off at one of the most expensive restaurants in the city, the kind where prices aren't listed. Inside, I saw Marcus first. He looked anxious. Next to him was Simone, polished, elegant, clearly raised in luxury. And then I saw her parents. They looked like royalty. Her mother, Veronica, wore expensive jewelry and a confident smile. Her father, Franklin, sat stiff and proud in a tailored suit. When I approached, the temperature changed. Veronica's eyes scanned me, my dress, my shoes, my bag, and something in her expression hardened. She shook my hand briefly, cold, dismissive. I was seated at the far end of the table. No one helped me with my chair. The waiter brought menus written in French. I pretended not to understand. Veronica sighed and said, "I'll order for her, something simple, no need to overdo it." Marcus looked away. No one defended me. The dinner unfolded exactly as I expected. They talked about money, hotels that cost $1,000 a night, luxury cars, shopping sprees, wine bottles worth hundreds. Every comment was designed to impress and to remind me where I stood. Then Veronica turned to me. "And what do you do exactly?" "I work in an office, administrative things." She smiled. "Well, all honest work has dignity." But the way she said it stripped that dignity away. Later, she asked if I lived alone, if my salary was enough, if Marcus ever worried about supporting me. Each question sharper than the last. Then came the final blow. Veronica leaned forward and said, "We've been thinking. At your age, it's natural for Marcus to feel responsible. We wouldn't want that burden to affect his marriage." A burden. She offered me help, $700 a month. In exchange, that I give Marcus and Simone space, disappear quietly. Marcus finally protested, but Veronica silenced him. All eyes turned to me. And that's when I stopped pretending. I straightened in my chair, looked her in the eye, and asked calmly, "How much did you help them with the house?" She smiled proudly. 40,000. And the honeymoon? 15,000. I nodded.
So you invested $55,000 in them. She beamed. When you love your children, you don't hold back. I smiled back. And tell me, Veronica, did that money buy you kindness? The room went silent. I continued. 40 years ago, I was a secretary earning minimum wage. I was alone, pregnant, abandoned. I worked 12 hours a day, studied at night, learned everything myself. I climbed every step alone. Then I said it. I earn $40,000 a month. I have for nearly 20 years. Utter silence. Marcus dropped his fork. Simone stared at me. Veronica's face drained of color. I manage operations across multiple countries, budgets worth hundreds of millions, thousands of employees. I looked directly at Veronica. That's why I live simply, because real power doesn't need to announce itself. Veronica tried to recover. Then Franklin's credit card was declined. Once, twice. The silence was unbearable. I calmly took out my card and paid for the entire dinner. The waiter returned in under a minute. Everything is settled, Miss Sterling. That was the moment Veronica understood. She hadn't just misjudged me, she had exposed herself. I stood up. Money doesn't buy class, it doesn't buy empathy, and it certainly doesn't buy respect. Veronica accused me of lying. I nodded. Yes, I pretended to be poor, because I needed to see how you treat someone you think has nothing, and now I know. I turned to Marcus and hugged him. I didn't raise you with money, I raised you with values. Outside, the night air felt lighter. Marcus asked if I regretted it. I didn't, because that night, I didn't just reveal the truth to them. I freed myself from hiding, and that freedom was worth more than any number in my bank account.